talking stretching. So I'm not going to physically show you today how to stretch, but if you'd like me to, just leave a comment and I'll do that for you as well. But I think a lot of the people trying to stretch, but they're missing out on few key things, how to do it correctly and how to actually progress much faster than they would be progressing normally. So I have decided to give you my infinite 5 tips. Now, before I do, you know what to do. Subscribe to this channel. I am trying to reach my 10,000 followers. Be that person who helps me out. Tip number 1, don't be over ambitious and take your time. I think a lot of the times when we start stretching, what happens, we haven't stretched before on regular basis and suddenly we decide, okay, we need to stretch more, and then suddenly we start pushing and pulling and all kinds of things and we're doing it all the time and it's just too much. It's so easy to get injured, to overstretch, to actually cause yourself pain and not really progress with your elasticity in the body. So my tip number 1, which I think is super duper important, if you start your stretches, don't be over ambitious. Try and take it nice and easy. Just start the stretch. Very easy, not crazy, suddenly all kinds of positions that you've never done before and you have no idea how to do them properly. So just take your time. This is the beginning of your stretching experience, one step at a time. Tip number 2, if you actually thinking of becoming more elastic and actually achieving some sort of goals with the stretching, then the most important thing is to do deep stretches. So what does that mean? It means you have to get in a specific position, whatever the stretch you're gonna do, and you have to stay there a little bit longer than maybe you would be intending. So the whole point is when you stay in a position, that's when it's a deep stretch and that's when your body's actually getting more elastic and you start getting more and more flexible, right? Now, if you do just like a little pumps or like a few seconds stretch, it doesn't actually make you more flexible. It makes you more flexible for that particular moment before you maybe do an exercise or something else, and it helps you not to get injured if you're going to do something active, but it doesn't actually make you more flexible. So in order to do that, you need deep stretches. You get in a position where you stretch and you stay there for like a minute, 30 seconds. You go off, you start again, maybe a little bit longer this time, but it's just staying in a position for a longer period of time. Tip number 3, you can only stretch properly one body part at a time. So you gotta think, what is it that you're trying to achieve? And you have to pick the stretching to target that particular body type. So, you know, there are some positions where you kind of stretch the whole body, but not again, it's like again a stretcher before like a part of the warm-up before like a very intense workout. But you don't do those kind of stretches where you stretch all body at once for achieving a specific flexibility goal, like splits or, you know, other positions with the legs up or like, you know, bending backwards and stuff, many different things. So you have to think, okay, so what is it that I want to achieve? And then you pick specific flexibility exercises for that. And that's when you target and you flex just that part. And then with time, you do it over and over again and you'll see the result for sure. But the idea is that you still want to stretch the whole body, but then the whole body you would stretch normally, like you get in a stretching position, you stay there for a little bit, you loosen up. But if you have a goal, you really have to target with specific stretching exercises to achieve that goal. Number 4, certain things you will never be able to do it, and that's okay. We see some people doing crazy things with their bodies, and there's many reasons why they can do that. Some naturally are born already with a body that is a little bit more flexible. Some people are double jointed. There's many different kinds of things. Also, some people been doing extreme stretching due to like gymnastic sports or ballet dancing from when they were like 4 years old or even younger sometimes, and their body's been just, you know, broken. And when it rips, you know, when you're really young and your legs are ripped many times, they grow back when they ripped in specific positions, you know. So if you like 30 years old and you decide to be able to do things that, you know, double jointed people do, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, you can keep trying. Who am I to stop you from trying? And you will only know when you die whether you could or couldn't do. But it's basic physics, right? So you certain things, biology, sorry, physics. I'm sure physics involved in it as well. Ooh. But it's basic biology for sure. Your body is what it is, and you need to check with your doctor and people who specialize and know things about the body. You know, do some scans and stuff. If you're really trying to do something and no matter what you do is not happening, maybe there's other reasons why. We all are born with different bodies, and it's just the way it is. We can push it to the limits, but there are some limits. So it's just something to keep in mind. And the reality is, we all born with the body that we are born with. We didn't get to choose it, it's what we've got. Now we can make it better, we can make it worse, we can make many things with it, but it is what we are born with. And certain things at this 21st century is just not possible yet. So accept it and just do the best you can and do as many other kind of things that you can and keep on stretching, but just live in peace when you find out, okay, maybe I'm never going to be able to do that, but I wonder how close to that can I get. So I think that would be a positive way of looking at it. I definitely have my moments of like, I know I can't do this. And I'm a dancer, so that's really hard to swallow. But I try and do the best I can and get to the best version of what I want to do. And, you know, I keep trying every single day. And final tip, tip number 5. I left it as a last tip because it's not necessarily a rule, but there is something to it. If you have big muscles, it will be harder to stretch. Now, the reason I say it's not necessarily a rule because there's a lot of huge muscular people that are super bendy. But it's because when they are building the muscle, they are at the same time stretching before workouts and after, and like those deep, really intense stretches. So if you keep doing that, it's not to say that you won't be able to be flexible, but you have to think, you know, if you're developing like bodybuilders, different kinds of muscles in different places, it will be restricting to raise your hands up properly or to reach the floor. The muscles are tensing. So they need to be constantly, you know, worked really hard. So if your goal, if you have a specific goal with your flexibility, you have to really think about, you know, the muscle situation. If you like working out really hard, you might really need to double up on your stretches because muscles require to be stretched even more. So have a think about that. As I say, it's not a rule, but it is something to keep in mind if that's something that will come across your way. And there you have it. I hope these tips are helpful because, as I say, I do a lot of kinds of videos, but I think sometimes people lack some basic information, some guidance that would actually help you to get to the place where you need to be. So I gave you these tips and now you think what you're gonna do with them. And before you leave, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there's a little bell you can ring, then you'll be notified for more upcoming videos, and I do have a lot of awesome content coming your way. And for now, I will say goodbye, and I will see you soon.